Back towards goal, hits the post, but tapped in, and there's Sam Bell.
Naismith slays in corner, that'll do it. And he make an impact right away. He'll try. Oh yes! Tommy Crawford's only gone and done it again.
Well, the final home game of Bristol City's Championship campaign is upon us. A season of highs and lows in BS3 culminates in what surely will be a thriller against Rotherham, who are 23 points adrift at the bottom of the league table. The Reds are looking for their 7th game unbeaten, but will that be thwarted by the Millers, who enter a new chapter under their new manager, Steve Evans, today? A warm welcome to Robins TV. Delighted to have you with us for the final time at Ashton Gate this season. We've got a bumper guest with us today. He's a man that's work does not really stop when the season comes to an end. It only begins moving into the summer months. It's technical director and Bristol City legend, Mr. Brian Tinnion, alongside me today. Brian, you used to be with us all the time, but unfortunately your work's too busy now that you can't be with us. How are things at the moment?
Yeah, good. We're planning for the summer. We've got everything pretty much in place in what we want and what we're looking to do, so there's lots of things moving, and we're quite excited about what we're going to do in the summer and what we need. I think that's key. We know what we need, and we've been working on it since the last 3 or 4 months really, so we're looking to put it in place. The wheels are in motion, so hopefully we can get the right bits that help us become a better squad next season.
Well, we'll delve into that shortly. Today might not be quite such a straightforward encounter with Steve Evans back in the dugout for Rotherham. They obviously picked up a clean sheet last time out. Do you think it would be a pretty tricky fixture today, or could we expect goals?
I don't think it's the ideal game, to be honest, because I know Steve Evans pretty well. Robbie Cundy went to Gillingham and played for him, and I spent a bit of time with him, so it's going to be difficult. He's an old school manager. They'll be playing like it's probably the first game of the season, because there'll be a lot playing for their futures at the football club, because he'll be having a good look at them. So it definitely won't be an easy game, and they'll be sat in. There'll be banks of 4 and defending really deep. So, and they'll be going pretty direct. So it'll be a tough game for us today. I
saw clips during the week of Liam Manning sort of delivering those final team talks ahead of this fixture about finishing on a high. Yeah. If we can get to the end of the season 8 games unbeaten, that gives us real sort of stimulus moving into the summer.
Really important that we keep doing what we're doing. We've got 2 winnable games. We want to win them both. We want to keep the momentum going. I think the last 6 games have been pretty good. I think the Huddersfield one at home wasn't so good, but before was good. So we want to keep that momentum, and we want people to want to come here as well. So the recruitment part is always people want to see us as a progressive club, especially young players developing, and hopefully we can finish off well and then do the recruitment we want to do, which makes us better.
Perfect. Thank you very much, Brian. More from Brian shortly, but now it's time to head up to the gantry to join a very chilly Alex Duffel with all of the team news.
Yeah, thank you very much, Toby. Welcome along, everyone, to Ashton Gate for the final home game of the season. As you say, it may well be spring, but it is bitterly cold out here this afternoon. And you have to say, it's been a pretty bleak season for today's visitors as well. Rotherham United already down and looking to avoid the unwanted statistic of not having recorded an away win all season. Steve Evans back in charge of the Millers, and he's made 4 changes today in what is his 2nd game since reappointment. Dylan Phillips replaces Victor Johansson in goal for his first championship appearance of the season. Both Peter Kioso and Cafu picked up injuries against Birmingham last week, so they drop out of the squad, replaced by Cohen Bramall and Arvin Apaya. And there's a change up top for the Millers, with Tom Eaves replacing club record signing Sam Nombe, who drops to the bench. Hill partner Jordan Hugill up top, who scored a penalty in this fixture last season. A very short bench for Rotherham this afternoon, including 2 keepers. As I mentioned, Victor Johansson is on the bench, so his unwanted record of having the most consecutive away defeats in the Championship for a goalkeeper remains at 34. Nat Ford is the other keeper on the bench. Grant Hall, Femi Sakiri, who's on loan from Sheffield United, youngster Ben Hatton and striker Sam Nombe round out the bench for the Millers this afternoon. As for Bristol City, the Robins seem to have found some form at the end of the season, 6 unbeaten and turning Ashton Gate into a formidable place for visiting sides. Today, Liam Manning makes 2 changes to the side that drew 1-1 at Carrow Road last week. Ever-present Max O'Leary continues in the sticks. Tanner and Roberts in those wide centre-back roles that they've embraced in recent weeks, either side of the imperious Rob Dickey. McCrory and Pring, the wing-backs. Williams and the incoming Matty James in the middle of the park. James in today for Jason Knight and also takes the armband. The other change today is Anis Mehmeti, who comes into the starting 11 in replace of Mark Sykes on the right-hand side. Scott Twine continues on the left-hand side. He very nearly scored a couple of free kicks last week, whilst Tommy Conway will look to repeat his heroics at the New York Stadium earlier in the season. Knight and Sykes reverts to the bench alongside the likes of Gardner-Hickman, Cornick and Wells. And there's a new name on the City bench this afternoon as youngster Elijah Morrison gets a chance in the matchday squad. So ahead of the final home fixture of the season, and as it's family day here at Ashton Gate, here is Liam Manning giving his pre-match thoughts with our junior reporters.
What team would you love to see Bristol City win against?
Oh, I think I'll probably start with Rotherham today, to be fair. I'll start with that and then, we'll go Stoke as well next week.
Obviously you beat big teams like Leicester and Southampton but struggled against teams like QPR and Millwall. How are you looking to strengthen the team for the new season?
I think if you look at it, we've been really good defensively, haven't we? We've stopped lots of goals. I think the big bit is how we now score them. So I think we have to work with the players we've got to make them better, and we have to maybe look to add some goals in the summer as well. How does that sound?
Yeah,
who's your footballer idol?
A football idol? Roy Keane. Do you know him? Yeah, he was my favourite player. That's where I played. I like the fact he used to kick people a little bit as well.
Brilliant questions there from our junior reporters alongside Liam Manning. He mentioned there the defensive work that we've really seen in full flight recently. Lots of clean sheets. That must be really pleasing from your perspective.
Yeah,
as well.
yeah, 4th or 5th best in the league defensively. But obviously the other end of the pitch is where the problems have been. We haven't scored enough goals. So we know that, and that's an area that we'll be looking to strengthen in the summer for sure, that forward end of the pitch.
Speaking of which, there's a lot of sort of burning questions about activity in the summer and where certain players are in terms of contract talks at the moment. Tommy Conway is obviously a player that fills that position at the moment. We've got Wells on the bench today in support. What's Tommy's situation?
Yeah, we've made an offer for Tommy with a new contract, and we want Tommy to stay at the football club. So there's an offer there for Tommy. Joe Williams is another one who we've been speaking to for the last 3 or 4 weeks, and there's an offer for Joe as well. So, we want to keep our squad together. We've built it over the last few seasons where we've got people under contract, so there's not too much change in the squad. I think it's really important that we keep continuity in the squad. So most of the lads are contracted, and we know that the forward end of the pitch is where we want to improve in the summer.
And it's an interesting one when it comes down to contract talks. I've probably been culpable of this myself. You sort of think, well, what's the hold up? But it's not a straightforward process, is it? There's lots of moving parts. There's injuries that could crop up that maybe prohibit a side from making an offer in the first place, and then you've got the agents and everything involved. Start to finish, it's probably rare that the player, I'd imagine, sort of is the person delaying it getting over the line, maybe?
No, the player you very rarely talk to. We obviously do talk to the players, but the agents are the people who we negotiate with, and we try and get the deal done. We want the player to be happy.
Can that be quite frustrating?
Yeah, of course it is. Of course it is. It's the hardest part of the game.
Yeah, because I was listening to a podcast the other day. It was the new Burnley owner, JJ Watt, who was sort of saying agents in this country, like nowhere else, and there's a fixed rate in the USA with the NFL and stuff. So that must be a challenge for you at times, and frustrating if they maybe don't have the club's best interest, of course.
Yeah, that's the frustrating part. If they don't, then that becomes a problem. But we're working really hard to get Tommy and Joe sorted at the moment, so we're hopeful. Joe's been fantastic, especially since Liam's come to the club. He's injury free. He looks like the player that we signed a couple of years ago but haven't really seen because of the injury, so we're really happy. And Tommy is a fantastic young player. He's only 21. He's got 25 championship goals in 2 seasons. He's a real asset and a real strong player for us. He's good around the dressing room. He's popular, so we want him here. We want him here to score more goals and help us get to where we want to get.
Absolutely. And a man that scored a cracking goal this lunchtime, Max Bird, he'll be joining us in the summer as well. Something to really look forward to. And we were just talking about Stokes and Murphy as well, these players. When will they sort of integrate themselves with the squad?
Well, Aldershot finished last week, and Josh has been coming in for the last month when Aldershot didn't have games in the week, so he's been training and been really impressive, by the way. He's impressed everyone. Murphy's had a bit of a pre-season as such, because his season finished funny. He played 40-odd games and he's had a few niggles, but he's going to train with the first team next week and play in the 21s against Charlton and play against Fleetwood in the 21s as well, so get a couple of games. And obviously Max Bird has had a little injury himself, but he's back and he scored a great goal today, and we're really excited about him. He's a quality player, Max. He's got 2 good feet, he sees things, he's a really creative midfielder who we think will make us better.
And it must sort of give him an air of reassurance as well, coming to Bristol City. Of course, a Derby side that's essentially into the Championship now. So it's probably part of him that's kind of loving the celebrations and thinking, naturally you would sort of think, should I be sticking with Derby? Bristol City, of course. Yeah. But it must be nice for him knowing Jason Knight, Hayden Roberts, which was what I was going to touch on then in terms of your sort of first proper transfer window. You brought in the likes of Mehmeti and Dickey and Roberts and Jason Knight, and that must fill you with real confidence. You're creating a real core of quality players.
Very much so. Taylor Hickman as well. Taylor Hickman, Bird. So they're all at a good age as well. Rob Dickey had the Championship experience, is what we needed. Been fantastic. Knight, unbelievable for 22. He's got 200 games already, and Bird's got 200 games, 23. Taylor Hickman's a talented boy. Mehmeti's now showing us what we knew he was, so really exciting, and they want to improve. Hayden Roberts, what a fantastic player, and he's going to only get better. He's technically good, he can defend, he can edit. Really excited about that group that we've brought in to go with the ones we've already got, and there's going to be more, which is exciting.
It's incredible, really. Hayden Roberts just looks like a completely different player. So we'll talk about that again shortly. Lots still to come on the show. We'll look ahead to the fixture today, of course, and we'll be chatting more to Brian about the plans across the summer.
first bird to start the dawn chorus, the last to stop singing at night. Traditionally, the robin represents hope, revival, new beginnings, and good things to come. While small and considered cute, learn that from you. The robin is aggressively territorial and quick to drive away intruders. Home is theirs to protect. Boldly and bravely.
Ashton Gate is our home, our territory, our fortress to defend.
Bristol is our community, our family to protect and care for.
We care for and nurture our own academy to develop them into first-team players through opportunity.
Our bravery, our fearlessness allows us to play with freedom.
To entertain our fans.
And to inspire our community.
We play to win, we exist to inspire. We always believe.
Welcome back to Robins TV. Bristol City looking to make it 7 games unbeaten today and give them that momentum going into the off-season against a lowly Rotherham side that are now back in League One. Right, the junior reporters have returned, and this time it's an opportunity for them to speak to the Republic of Ireland international, Mr. Mark Sykes.
Like you, I play in midfield. Have you got any tips?
For a midfielder?
Yeah.
Yeah, well, you need to be energetic. You need to be able to get up and down the pitch. And nowadays, every manager wants somebody who can score goals.
I have a steak pasty before every game when I go to Ashton Gate. What's your pre-match ritual?
A steak pasty? Wow, I don't think I could have one of them. Usually all the lads have eggs, either scrambled or an omelette. But everybody's different. My choice is an omelette. All right?
What's your favourite goal that you scored?
My favourite goal? Wow, I scored a couple this season and last year. Maybe Swansea away. That was quite a good goal and it was an important win for us.
Mark Sykes there with our junior reporters. He'll be hoping he can get on the score sheet today. Brian is back alongside me, of course. We were just talking off camera about the level of detail that goes into Liam Manning's prep and the fact that he has one-on-one sessions pretty frequently with these players just to improve their individual game.
Yeah, they're all queued outside his office to go through the clips, go through the game before, what they've done well, what they need to do better. It's constant, and the lads really love it, to be honest. And you can see the improvement, Mehmeti and Roberts and people like that. Jason Knight's become a better player. Joe Williams has been fantastic. So, yeah, there's a lot of detail, and I think they're really enjoying it.
And you were saying as well that, without giving too much away, that the fixture against Norwich, they were so... well, the plaudits were out in terms of our midfield and their performances that day as well.
Yeah, really complimentary, the manager after, to Liam and his staff. So it's good because they're making a good impression and they're playing how they want to play now. You know, it's took a bit of time to get across against the bigger teams. We've had some really good performances and wins. Now can we put your Rotherhams and your lower teams who sit in, can we work it out really how to beat them? Because if we can, then I think we'll be good.
Opportunity today, potentially off the bench for Elijah Morrison. Yep. Where's that sort of come from? And he's been on the periphery on a number of occasions, but why now, I guess?
Well, he's playing really well. In the 18s, he's been outstanding. He's trained now with the first team on quite a few occasions, and Liam and his staff have been really impressed with him. So there was a space today that they thought that was a good time for Elijah to step in and have an opportunity. So he's earned it. He's earned it. And Belly and Trev have been really good with him in the 18s. They've been working on the stuff he needs to work on individually, on his technique a little bit, but pace and power and running and quality delivery. He's going to be an exciting talent in the future for sure.
And when you're building a squad during the off season, I mean, how does it work? You sort of see on the documentaries on various sites and stuff that you see the manager often with the chairman putting the names up on the board and there's another player beneath and 3 for one position. Is that how it kind of works with you guys?
We have all the plans and the progression of who's out of contract when, who's the ones coming through, who don't we want to block. We don't want to, if we've got an Elijah Morrison, we don't want to stick someone on a 4-year contract in front of him because we think he's got the potential to go forward. So yeah, there's a heck of a lot of planning. I'm lucky enough in my office to have a board from 9s to the first team. Crikey. So every day I can look and see how it looks and see how the planning goes. So we're constantly in there looking at the boards and planning for the future because we do want our academy to be a major part of what we do. And obviously Elijah Morrison today and Jed Meerholt's been on the bench, Ray Nelson's been on the bench, Jamie Knight-LaBelle's played. Joseph James played at Cardiff early in the season, so he's made his debut. So I think we've had 3 debuts this season. Seb Palmer-Holden's made his debut in the league. Ollie Thomas played for Newport in the league. So we've had some real good progression this season for our young ones. That should make them better next season.
Absolutely right. Well, one young player that is now really performing and has done exceptionally well under the tutelage of Liam Manning is Hayden Roberts. He picked up his first goal against Norwich, and it was a fantastic finish as well. Let's take a look at it now, and it comes really from his defensive work and not giving up there, and then I guess the know-how to still make his way into the box.
Yeah, I think he had a nosebleed there, Hayden. He's not been that far up the pitch, but he's got some real quality, technical ability, fantastic, good left foot, can head it, really coming on now, and he looks like he believes he's a championship player. And the talks last summer when we spoke to Hayden was he wants to play in the Premier League. He wants to come here and play, he wants to improve, he wants to get the Premier League with us, and if we don't get there, he wants to play in the Prem. And he's got all the attributes to play at the really top level. It's
amazing what confidence combined with quality coaching, as we're talking about, can do. Because we remember watching him earlier on in the season. He sort of came onto the pitch, he didn't necessarily put a foot wrong, but it's the swagger that he now has, where you're like, yeah, fair enough, he could well be a Premier League player.
Yeah, there's a real belief now that he can play at the top level, and he believes it. I think he's always believed it, but I think he's getting the confidence from the work that's been done with him again. He's in the office with the clips and working on what he needs to do better, and there's bits that he needs to improve. But fantastic, really fantastic signing for us. He came in really to be an understudy to Cam Pring and try and get Pringy out of the team, but they can both play in the same team now, which is a bonus.
Yeah, absolutely right. Let's look at Rotherham then. Steve Evans taking charge of his first game against Birmingham. And it was a goalless draw. Did well at Stevenage, but are we expecting much the same, do you think, today with this kind of setup?
I don't think they'll be too expansive. And Steve Evans' teams, they work hard. They're resilient. They're gritty. The goalkeeper will hit long balls onto Hugill and the other striker up there, Eves, who are big boys anyway. So I think the back three better have the tin hats on, I think, because they'll get a bit of heading practice today, I would have thought.
And then I guess looking ahead to today then, how much of Liam's prep is about the opposition now at this stage in the team's sort of progress and development, and how much is it about just focusing on ourselves?
They'll know everything about Rotherham.
Right,
every detail of Rotherham set plays, how they play, the danger men. I went and popped in the other day and they were going through it all, so they had it all, a presentation made up for the players yesterday to know exactly, but then also a presentation to how we're going to hurt them and how we play will cause them major problems. So very detailed on the opposition, but at the end of the day it is about us, and if we play really well and we get in the areas where they know we can hurt them, then we're going to hurt them.
Ross McCrory is a player we've not even spoken about today. He's has such tough luck with the injury, but you're starting to see what he's about. You can imagine a proper pre-season for him will really benefit as well.
Really important for Ross to come back, good pre-season, and then he'll hit the ground running. He's got, I think this is 22nd or 23rd game, which was in real doubt around about December last year, was like touch and go whether you're going to see Ross this season. So to play 20-odd games in the Championship is a real boost for him, and he'll come back fitter, stronger and better in the summer, I'm sure.
I feel like I'm reeling off players. Scott Twine's another player that many fans will hope to maybe see next season. Presumably that's an ongoing situation.
Yeah, they're continuing talks, and we haven't lost a game when 20 started, so that shows the influence he has. Really good on the training ground, really good for the culture, really good trainer, quality, good lad, wants to be the best, wants to drag the rest of them with him. Got a really good relationship with Tommy Conway. I think Tommy and him are like the Tommy and Scotty now, so Tommy's got his buddy with him and they go out together and they're close, which is really nice, and he's a really good player, Scott. He's got some real talent.
Thank you very much, Brian. Right, time for us to say a goodbye to those of you that are thankfully joining us today on Facebook and YouTube. If you are watching overseas, you can still download your matchday pass at bcfc.co.uk.